fourth industrial revolution, it's a fusion of the physical, the digital, and the biological world. It's changing not only what we are doing, it's changing who we are.
It's really the notion of digital technology pervasively impacting every walk of life in every vertical industry on all parts of the globe.
Whether it's information technology and the acceleration we see in artificial intelligence, a lot is happening.
Society and how we're going to live is being defined right now.
The speed is mind-boggling. What I'm particularly concerned about is how little the world is prepared.
Harnessing this revolution requires the involvement of all stakeholders, from public and private sectors to academia and civil society. The World Economic Forum Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution Network ensures that the development and application of emerging technologies benefits both people and the planet. It is a network of centers for scalable impact, with locations in the United States, Japan, India, and China, bringing together stakeholders to identify the impacts of these technologies, co-design innovative governance protocols and policy frameworks, and pilot them with partners around the world.
If we are not innovative, if we're not creative enough, it will be very difficult to survive in this century.
Humans and machines are assisting each other, augmenting each other with skills.
Humanity itself will be changed with this superintelligence, and we are at the doorstep of that era.
The technologies available today will impact and change healthcare forever.
52% of the encounters with our primary care physicians were handled virtually. Just a massive change.
The network will work closely to share research, analysis, and learning, and help design new technologies in ways that respect societal values.
It's where innovation is happening about how we guide this revolution.
We can solve many social issues through the digital technologies.
My hope is that we have a robust discussion for how this can truly help our world solve some of the hard-pressed challenges that we have today.
Together, we can shape a future that truly benefits and empowers people.
The world has changed. We can never, ever go back to yesterday.
This episode can't begin to capture just how many industries will be affected. Let's look at some of the industries being disrupted by this technology.
So if we received in coffee, it would be not just a case of coffee, it would be a full truck of coffee in pallets. We'd take those pallets, load them onto conveyors, and then the first robot would take that pallet apart layer by layer, and then those layers would then be broken up into single case quantities and then stored within the structure by the next set of robots. We'd then receive the customer's order, and they would give us an order for coffee, and for peanut butter and mayonnaise and whatever else they wanted. Those cases would then be retrieved by the bots and then brought out to a third set of robots, which would then build the customer's order in a pallet to their specification.
This right here is Alibaba. All right, so we know Amazon, you know what I'm saying? Amazon is a thoroughbred, but actually China is a world leader in e-commerce. All right, they hold the crown. They have autonomous solutions too. These robots right here, you'll see later in the video, Amazon's got their own version and they cranking out product left and right. This is the fourth industrial revolution. Things need to happen faster. All right, faster, which is why crypto is important, and you want to have you some crypto. They're about to change the money because we're going to be dealing with bigger numbers. We got some autonomous guided vehicles. We got some AGVs. Look, this warehouse is partially autonomous. You had a couple forklift drivers, and then you'll see a command center with 2 people inside of it. Not too many people in the warehouse. You don't need it. Through machine learning and artificial intelligence, the robots could do it all. Walgreens hiring, CVS hiring, no problem. You need a pharmacist? No problem. They got robotic solutions for that too. I'm telling you, bro, no matter the industry, you could name one. I mean, you know, probably things like sports or whatever. Well, heck, they got a Japanese robot who hit a 3-pointer, you know what I'm saying? But all jokes aside, look at that. This is doing the same thing that somebody in a pharmacy could do. Easily. Faster. All those hiring signs, they got robotic solutions, man. What if you walking through a warehouse and you see this? Just out the blue. If you just came into your warehouse tomorrow and you see and you seen this happening, what would you think? Cause I guarantee you that's how that's gonna happen to some of these people coming back off of these hiatuses. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm gonna say it anyway, hiatuses. Look at this, man. This is crazy. I mean, it's dope. It's innovation. Don't get me wrong. But this is the fourth industrial revolution, where the robots and the algorithms and the machines will feed the people of the world and fixes everything. I mean, look at it. Hey, you name the field, and I'm telling you, they have the solution. No human involved. All right? They create the problem. They wait for the reaction. We all know that. And then they run in with the solution. Like Rahm Emanuel say, he say, never let a good crisis go to waste. The timeline for the fourth industrial revolution has accelerated tremendously. Look at these solutions, and as we go through the course of this hour, I want you to understand and see and hear over the noise of these screaming kids above my head here. But I want you to see the speed that Klaus Schwab describes as the fourth industrial revolution. This thing is far reaching, bro. Look at that. I mean, that's dope innovation. But when you see the entire picture that they are putting together for humanity, they call it Humanity 2.0. Humanity 2.0. And this is Industry 4.0, and the crypto money is Web 3.0. This is all 5G technology, machine learning. They got the automated trailer loading and unloading action going down. Box after box after box. Ain't no Newport brakes. Hey, ain't no Cool Mile 100 brakes. For you Marlboro smokers, ain't no Marlboro brakes. It don't need one. Mechanical arm, machine learning, box after box after box. Oh, and they got the reverse osmosis Jones Bones thing going on over here. Look at that. Just pulling the boxes away like it's nothing. Nothing. Slinging these boxes. Some of these boxes probably, bro, 60, 70, 80 pounds. Now this right here, see, I'm showing these. This was in episode 2 or episode 3 if you go back a couple episodes ago. This is for like warehouses, grocery stores. You can order your groceries online. Them things is going down like it's a racking system, and everything is being shuffled around like a Rubik's Cube. And the ones up top, they fly around and they pick the orders. Them things are zipping around 20, 30, 40 miles an hour like it's nothing. They got the solutions. This right here is Amazon. I actually just kept it light because you should have all seen the documentaries. You got the robots. See, it looked just like the blue ones from China, from Alibaba, in the first couple clips. But I just want to show you that it's global. This is a global initiative. Industry 4.0 technology right here. This is a warehouse. They got human workers there, but in some places, in some countries, They have fully autonomous warehouses, start to finish. Right here, we got another robot, Warehouse Solutions. See, in logistics and things that need to be shipped, there are things that come in bigger sizes and weirder sizes than just the standard sizes like boxes. You got things that come in crates, things that need to be palletized, things that are oblong, all types of different things, but they have the solution. Look at this, completely autonomous. All right, last one of this kind for now. You know, I think we got the hint on the, yeah, this, see, I showed you Amazon, I showed you Alibaba. I think this is like a German group or a Swiss group or some other group with the same type of solution. This is all fourth industrial revolution technology. They have something called universal basic income. Look at this. This one gonna do some imaging. Saw that? Picking them, imaging, putting away. Picking them, imaging, putting it away. Dope. It's gonna make things much more faster, much more efficient. These things are gonna be flying out of these warehouses. But you need the money to move faster, which is why the crypto is important. That's the part people don't understand. And with the crypto, it'll help these machines pay each other. I know that's a crazy concept or thought, but the machines are going to be paying each other when they set up these autonomous organizations. Man, think about this. An autonomous organization, some billionaire get to set one of these up and make maximum profit off of it. If you are invested in the right crypto, when you have these autonomous organizations having robots pay themselves, the price of those cryptos are going to go through the roof, through the entire roof. Look at this. You're watching the whole process from beginning to the end and then beginning again. From beginning to the end and then beginning again. You see this? This is fully autonomous. Where did you see the human at? That's why China is at the cradle of this fourth industrial revolution that Klaus Schwab is talking about. It's funny, here in America, I'm neither Democrat nor Republican, not to get political, but I'm saying that something sounds funny. This entire program right here is completely mechanized. No human.
Powered only by the wind and sun, these GPS-guided bots can survive at sea for months at a time. Bristling with sensors, scientific equipment, and cameras.
The funny thing about this is, like, on the surface, you would think, so why are they sending a sailboat out that has like no crew, like a little drone? What's the purpose of it? You know, they pay researchers and explorers buku money to go and view this footage and see what sharks are doing and figure stuff out in those ecosystems. You have a drone that has a real-time camera you can see from anywhere in the world, and this thing can pick up the surroundings of everything around it. You just eliminated a whole research team, bro. This is a whole nother technology.
So we're working with Stanford University to take these vehicles and literally follow the sharks to the cafe to understand literally what they're doing there. Is it food? Is it reproduction? No one really knows.
The drones are ideal for missions like this. They're much cheaper than large research ships and can collect many different types of data.
pH, chlorophyll, humidity, radiation, wind speed, direction, temperature. The list goes on. We measure everything you can possibly measure near the surface of the ocean.
Crafts have already revolutionized warfare from the sky, and driverless cars are poised to overhaul ground transportation. Now, the next big transport development, it seems, might be happening at sea. Ship designers, their operators, and regulators are now considering a future in which cargo vessels sail the oceans with minimal or even no crew.
Wait, hold up. So the funny thing is, like, when these things start to hit mainstream sources like WSJ or CNBC, etc., they tell you that it's a concept by Rolls-Royce, or this is a concept by this agency or that agency, when the truth is they already got the technology. Look at the other solutions that you've seen so far. This is no different. It's the fourth industrial revolution, and it's here. It's not tomorrow. It's not 5 years down the road. It's today.
But these new megaships are so big, new ports had to be built to cope with them.
Welcome to Rotterdam, now the largest port in Europe. At over 40 kilometers long, it had to be expanded to service these titans of the sea.
This is reclaimed land, 8 square miles of it. This ship is so big that to build a port that can accommodate it, first they had to build an extension to Holland.
But even that wasn't enough. These massive ships carry so much cargo. Humans just couldn't unload and load them fast enough, which is why Rotterdam is the world's most advanced, fully automated port.
To keep on schedule, this ship is never empty. It's loaded and unloaded simultaneously, and that's kind of complicated.
This terminal is run by computerized cranes and driverless vehicles, which means they can operate 24/7. And that's how the port can handle a mind-blowing 469 million tons of cargo a year.
See how it
Yo,
all
that's
works,
crazy.
and what it
A
feels
whole
like to ride in
autonomous
our
port.
car.
A whole autonomous port, bro. All right, listen to the
As it
autonomous
drives,
drive.
Waymo uses LiDAR, which sends out millions of laser beams per second, to build up a detailed picture of the world all 360 degrees around it. It also uses radar to detect how far away objects are and their speed. And high-resolution cameras detect visual information, like whether a traffic signal is red or green. It then combines all that data to understand the world around it. For example,
You know
in
where
this
everything
fraction of a
is,
second,
huh?
it knows exactly where it is.
You've been on
the
these
road.
streets, huh?
It can also identify
You know how to make a left turn in the
everything
street,
around
huh?
it in full 360 degrees,
That's crazy.
and then predict what those things might do next. And it doesn't just
Yo.
do that for the objects you and I can see. It can do that for things up
Oh,
to
you
3
giving me the
football
aerial
fields
view
away.
too? Alright, I see it.
What makes everything you can see right now possible is
okay.
experience. Waymo has already self-driven millions of miles on complicated city streets, and it's constantly learning from every
This thing
single
is
mile
on the
it
road
drives.
by itself, bro. This the day we in.
With all that knowledge, it can plan a safe path ahead. In this instance, giving that cyclist enough room to cycle past us, and also looking
Man,
out for that pedestrian on the
I
sidewalk.
wonder how it's gonna deal with them city drivers though. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody in,
And when it comes
Detroit,
to making decisions,
Chicago,
this is a good example of how
New
Waymo
York
doesn't
City,
just take into account your safety.
you know what I'm saying?
It also
Houston,
makes sure that both
Los
you
Angeles.
and the people around you feel secure and at ease.
How it's gonna deal with the traffic on the one.
So now that
101,
you know how Waymo
I-20,
works, it's time to take
55,
your first
290.
ride in one of our
Eeh.
cars.
9094,
Take a look around. You're
I-10.
now riding in a fully self-driving car.
What is it gonna do on
Some
I-10?
things might immediately stand out. The fact that there's no one in the driver's seat,
Look at this.
no one turning the wheel, and the
There
screens,
is no
which
driver.
show you what the car is seeing and the route
This
it's
like
taking.
Total Recall.
But you might also notice that the ride feels a lot like being driven in a regular
2021.
car. And that's the way it should
Man,
feel.
tell me.
All this
Tell
technology,
me, bro,
which
if you
allows
was in this
Waymo
car.
to see, identify, predict, and plan, should make an extraordinary
Tell me if you
ride
was in this
feel
car right
completely
now.
ordinary and
With
create
no
a very
driver, you
normal
wouldn't be
journey
clutching the
that
door
simply
handles.
gets you from A to B, safe and sound.
Tell me.
And while it does all that,
Tell me, bro.
all you have to do
Yo,
is sit back,
there is no
relax,
driver.
and
We
enjoy the
finna
ride.
cross Ashland.
Go like both ways.
Yeah,
You
I
go
just
forwards and
resigned
backwards,
myself
right?
to the
But
fact that
now
some
this is the
people
front
just a
here,
little bit more
and this
brave
is
than
the
me.
only
I'ma,
wheels that actually
take my
turn.
chances,
It's a
though,
good
at some
looking
point in
vehicle,
time with
man.
this,
Lots and lots of
autonomy.
glass, lots of green
Autonomy,
space.
yeah.
You got
See,
these
he about to ride that bus.
radars and cameras and
yep.
lidars on
Tell
each
him,
corner.
Billy, it's got the
And
lidar
we're
and
going
all
out
of
on the
that.
city street now.
Ooh,
Fully autonomous.
yeah.
No driver.
No driver. No driver. Yep, no driver.
Okay, so
I'll be hey, and you know what? And if you listen and watch, he's alertly paying attention. I would be the
Yes,
same
it's
way.
slowing down, letting that car
Tell him,
pass
Jed. And look, when
before
they
it
do
changes
the other
lanes.
shot,
Another car changes lanes.
I zoom out. He gonna be leaning and
And
looking.
it senses a red light ahead of us.
I'll be
And
leaning
change
and
lanes
looking
again
too.
Without getting in a car
See, he
accident
watching,
with that guy.
boy. He ready to make that mad dash.
And we got a green light to turn left.
Pretty much. There is no driver. This is total recall.
Turning left.
Whoa.
Oh, that guy just ran a red light.
Hey.
And so did he.
Yeah.
They just ran red
Sure
lights,
did.
those guys.
They do that in they do
the
that in
bus
Chicago all the
stopped in
time. They
front
run
of us.
red lights. They
Nicely
run them on
done.
Lakeshore Drive. They run them on Madison. They run them on. Boy, they be running. Man, they run them lights.
Very comfortable.
For the moment, though,
There's no
Zoox
driver.
does most of its software testing in these modified
This is
versions
more
of
of
Toyota
there is no
Highlanders,
driver.
which have the decided advantage of being street legal.
We're actually going to get you to drive autonomously from this facility to our new headquarters in Foster City, and then Jesse's going to jump in and you can drive to downtown San Francisco. We don't know any company in the world that is driving that multi-dimensional degree of difficulty from urban to freeway to dense downtown.
So that's a bicycle?
That was a cyclist, yes. That's the car behind us.
It's something like the speed limit. Does that get taken by the cameras seeing the signs, or that's something that has to get entered in as you map the world?
If there's a sign that's been vandalized or it's missing or it's got, growth on it, the vehicle wouldn't know what the speed limit is and that could cause an incident, right? Or a fine. So speed limits are really well understood on the road networks, so we put that in as a prior on the map.
Okay. So coming up right here, we have to do a left turn yield. So you just got to see this other car.
Yeah, so we're a bit concerned about this car that's coming towards us from a prediction level, so we just want to make sure that they do the right thing. And now we're yielding. If you look on this screen, see there's yellow here?
Yep.
That means we're yielding for that vehicle.
Okay.
And now we're off. We're about to drive onto the freeway, so this will be interesting. You can see there's quite a bit of traffic on our left.
Yep.
And the vehicle's indicating at the moment. It's going to brake a little bit harder because we've got this vehicle right on our 6.
Yeah.
And we're running out of runway. And now we merge in. So that would have been a hard situation even for a human driver. We needed to merge, and that person on the left was not letting us in. We tried to go in front, they stayed with us, and then we had to brake, let them go past, and then we pulled in.
Yeah.
And that was all autonomous, and you can see how smooth that was. Good robot. So one of the hardest things to do with autonomous driving is actually prediction. Because you not only need to understand what the state of the world is, you have to say, well, what's the state of the world in the near future? If I do this, what will that person do?
Yep.
And so that creates very quickly a large search tree. And if the vehicle's going to drive with good performance, you need to be able to predict well the state of the world in the near future. Here's our new headquarters. 20 minutes, suburban driving, freeways merging, 100% autonomous.
Yeah.
So we're in Half Moon Bay at one of our test facilities where we do a lot of prototyping and engineering development and test flights. This is the location where we're developing the next generation of drone and the next generation of technology that's being incorporated into our product. We use small electric drones to deliver life-saving medicine like blood and vaccines and snake anti-venom to places that previously lacked access. Zipline builds distribution centers in areas with great need where they lack access to most medical products. And Zipline serves thousands of hospitals directly. Basically, all that needs to happen is a patient comes into a hospital and the doctor makes a determination of what that patient needs. All they have to do is pick up the phone and call us, And within a few minutes, our distribution center receives that order, packs the medical products into a small cardboard box, loads them into the belly of our drone, and launches that drone into flight. That drone then flies fully autonomously directly to that healthcare facility. Then without landing, it opens its doors in its belly and drops that cardboard box out from the sky. Zipline is built on top of many different technologies that already exist. For example, we leverage GPS, we leverage all the advances in electric motors and the newest and state-of-the-art batteries. And the innovation that Zipline has created has been the combination of all these existing technologies into a very simple, very reliable, and easy to operate drone.
So this right here is more picking for the pharmaceutical industry. And again, as you look across a wide range of industries, they have these solutions that have been readily available. Those for hire signs will not be up forever. They have the solution. It's called the Fourth Industrial Revolution. It's German engineering, and Klaus Schwab is the head of this thing. And he's the head of the World Economic Forum. And these solutions are in biomedical, nanotechnology, machine learning, artificial intelligence. It's going to be in transportation. It's going to be in food. It's going to be in healthcare. It's going to be in education. It's going to be on Wall Street, in the financial sector. It's going to be in the banking sector. There is no sector of life that this thing will not touch. It's widespread and far-reaching. You got to check it out. So check this out. I came back to this pharmaceutical side again because this is in Dubai. All right, a second smart pharmacy. Boom. The first was launched at the Rashid Hospital. So this is a technology that's really being used in the real world right now. And when they open up the gates, the floodgates I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy.
The patient goes to the physician and he will have an appointment with the physician. He will get the prescription. Electronically, it comes to the pharmacy within a few seconds. The pharmacist checks the prescription for any clinical information, if there's anything to be checked. Otherwise, if everything is okay, with one click on the keyboard of the computer, he gives an instruction to the robot to fill the prescription. And the robot takes the action at that time. Within less than 1 minute, the medicines reaches to the pharmacist, where he checks it again, so for other double checking, and then he gives it to dispense it to the patient.
Over the years, they've really worked on the sensitivity of the robotic gripper. And they have different types of grippers, but they all can achieve the same type of end game, depending on what type of objects that you want, for this solution to be able to pick up. This is crazy, though. The amount of job loss that's coming in this time frame is going to be staggering, because it's not just one industry being affected at the same time. It's a lot of different industries.
Perimeter ring is in effect. Please keep to 5 persons per group.
Never seen nothing like this before in my life.
Now viral videos show, for lack of a better term, a robot dog joining the human members of the NYPD's response to a domestic dispute inside a NYCHA building in Kips Bay Monday.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. It felt surreal.
344 East 28th Street Tenant Association President Melanie Ocello shot one of those viral videos on her smartphone and compared the scene she witnessed to something out of a dystopian movie.
It scared me.
The NYPD told Fox 5 the 70-pound four-legged robot equipped with cameras, lights, two-way communication, and artificial intelligence, allowing it to move on its own, remained on standby Monday while human officers arrested the suspect and charged him with criminal possession of a weapon.
I think it really speaks to the skewed priorities of their leadership.
Senator Brad Hoylman, who represents the district where this incident took place, thought deploying the $74,000 robot dog anywhere undermined police community relations, but especially in a public housing complex where residents might already mistrust the police.
The idea of the robot actually was introduced by the mayor of the city of Huntington Park and the city council. The robot itself was given the name HP RoboCop. For Huntington Park. It's, rather a futuristic piece of equipment that essentially is a sophisticated, current time, high definition camera system. All of the video footage is recorded 24/7. It also has an alert button feature wherein members of the community will be able to press the alert button to notify the monitoring center that they need assistance or they would like the police to respond on something.
Please help keep the park clean.
This is Astro, Amazon's new home robot. By day, it's a cute little helper, but when you're not around, it turns into a roving security robot keeping an eye on everything. Imagine all of Amazon's best-known products, Alexa speakers, Ring cameras, smart home integration. Now smush them all into one robot, whack on some wheels, and give it a cute face. That's Astro, Amazon's smart robot assistant designed to help you around the home when you're there and keep an eye on things.
We have revolutionized the security landscape with the most intelligent and highly functional autonomous robot in its generation.
We have invented the best companion for security guards. It does not go to sleep, and it keeps you safe and secured at all times. Security robots are a real solution to solve key problems in the security industry today. It's well known that human-based security is inconsistent in terms of performance, and there will be a high turnover due to overworking.
OR3 autonomously patrols an environment using routes selected by a customer. If it determines that there's something suspicious, OR3 will send an alert to our Fleet Management Control Center. From there, security officers can analyze the alert and determine the best plan of action to deal with the problem.
Human-robot collaboration leads to better performance of security teams, better risk management as well. Security companies today and building owners can scale their deployment and businesses using our robots. Well, people are always very excited and happy when they see OR3. They are especially curious about its self-driving capabilities. They are also not intimidated as we have succeeded in designing a friendly security robot.
Welcome to the transformation of the security industry. Day and night in any weather conditions on any terrain, SMP security robots, together with AI distribution, continue to deliver effective robotics throughout the world. Driven by the highest industry standards, we continuously...
What I saw is this surveillance drone made by a startup called Sunflower Labs. The startup hopes wealthy people will start buying these next year to ease their minds about raccoons that are checking out trash bins in the middle of the night, or to keep burglars away if it comes to that. I knew what to expect, but imagine if you were a real burglar confronted by a buzzing airborne camera.
If somebody's on your property doing something they shouldn't be doing and a drone flies out, I'm pretty sure they're not going to continue.
Drones are a hot item in the world of tech, mostly for things like monitoring power lines or creating show-stopping real estate listings. Home security could bring the technology to average homeowners too, when costs come down. Here's how Sunflower Labs technology works. First come the sunflowers, yard lights that actually are bristling with sensors. A vibration detector can tell the difference between footfalls and car traffic. And motion sensors can tell I'm a human, not a deer or a dog. If Sunflower Labs' computer thinks I could be trouble, it'll send a phone alert. The homeowner can push a button to automatically launch the drone to take a look. In this case, you can see me snooping around the backyard. The drone isn't too loud when you're indoors, but take it from me, somebody skulking around the property is going to notice when the drone zooms up.
The burglar will know that they've been noticed, and it's very similar to either a security guard or at the very least a dog that's barking at you. The drone has no offensive weapons. It is not going to go up in your face. It will fly probably about 20 feet above you.
The drone itself looks like a standard quadcopter, but it's designed to be relatively quiet and to land automatically in its weatherproof base station.
Of course, there's the main security camera. The security camera is specifically made for low light conditions, so you can see it well at night. And at the very bottom is our landing camera, which locks in onto the landing beacon of our system in order to bring the drone down reliably and safely.
Security camera drone that it will literally fly through your home. It's going to integrate with the Ring alarm security system, so if Ring detects something, some motion when you're in away mode, the cam will be able to take off and fly one of its preset paths to check what's going on. While you are setting it up, you draw out preset paths for it to follow. So the idea is, if you're worried about maybe having left your window open or your stove on, your one security camera that you have in the living room can take off, fly into the kitchen, double check that the stove is off, and give you that extra peace of mind with your flying security.
All right, we're back with more of today's robot revolution, turning now to the world of medicine.
Wow. This.
Here we go.
Wait, this is an example of the Locust Bot. It's a warehouse robot that delivers everything from medical supplies, first aid kits, brings them in.
Very cool.
Right.
We could soon be hearing the robot will see you now instead of the doctor, perhaps. NBC's Gadi Schwartz takes a look at just how much AI we'll be seeing in the ER and beyond. How does it look?
Deep breath.
This is not a test. These are real working nurse robots in Bangkok, Thailand, handling medical records and pills, and even singing songs to soothe patients.
We are very happy because we invest just a little bit and we get very good feedback from our staff and patients.
Dr. Anu Nana, director of the Mung Hu Tuat Thana Hospital, says they commissioned these robots to help staff, not to replace them.
Now,
Moxie is a teammate. She's here to actually relieve some of the pressure and of task and the hunt and gather that we all have to do all day that takes our time away from the patient.
Diligent Robotics of Austin designed Moxie to perform routine tasks in a clinical setting.
We really need to understand the workflows of these units. We need to understand, well, what do nurses do? How do they do it? And how do we think about Moxie fitting into those workflows?
Her little voice, you know, when she passes you and says hello, and her eyes, she does seem to have a personality. We don't think of her as a thing, it's Moxie.
During a month-long pilot, Moxie stocked patient rooms, removed dirty linens, and took samples to the lab.
Almost 30.
Fast food chain Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, showcased its automated restaurant in Moscow. In an outlet nicknamed a Restaurant of the Future by KFC, any possible interactions between customers and staff are reduced to the bare minimum. After the food is cooked, a firm and precise robotic hand puts the order into the box, which can be opened by a code given to the customer. To pay for the food, one can use both bank cards or face biometric data after completing a registration process. KFC representative Dmitry
have dough, tomato sauce, cheese and toppings, just like the ordinary pizzas. But these ones are made by a very special baker. Patsy, the world's first autonomous pizza robot.
Ce robot est unique, hein. Il est capable de faire 80 pizzas par heure. Et donc il va pouvoir paralléliser plusieurs pizzas en même temps. Patsy qui vient de l'italien fou, audacieux, voilà, qui quelque part aussi la jeunesse du projet. Et c'est aussi l'anagramme de pizza, donc c'est un mot qu'on a trouvé parfait pour notre robot.
Co-founder Sebastián Roverso and his team spent over 7 years developing the project,
That's not always the case. For decades, the United States and other wealthy countries have been dependent on China to buy and process almost half of the world's plastic waste. Now, stricter recycling standards in China mean it's cheaper for some US cities to simply send recyclables to the dump rather than pay a higher fee to process them. That's why a number of researchers and tech companies are working on making US recycling more efficient.
What we've done is develop this vision system that's able to learn from experience and is able to identify all these different bottles and cans despite them being smashed, folded, torn, dirty, kind of, every way they can kind of get gross inside your recycling bin, you name it, we can probably sort it out.
Our gripper has 2 fingers and it kind of reaches down and grasps. And on each finger, there's a strain sensor which measures how much the finger is changing length. And there's also a pressure sensor right at the grasping portion. Based on how these sensors are constructed, they also can tell metal objects because it changes with the electric field that it's measuring. So with all of those 3 combined, we came up with like a classification model to determine paper, plastic, and metal.
Hey man, what in the haberdashery and man, no way I'm letting no robot poke me. I ain't have a hard enough time letting the human poke me. But hey, they got that too. What they call them, phlebotomists. Yep, they got your job covered too. Apple pickers, you name it. I mean, it's a lot, man. I ain't letting no needle poke me, man. I ain't letting no robot poke me with no needle to take my blood.
Here at the left side, we see one of the KUKA working horses that we have been adapting for the medical technology standards. This is a KI Quantec that can carry up to 300 kilograms. And here we have been equipping it with an C-arm, an X-ray imaging system, so that an overall system can be used in an interventional room. On the right side, you can see a customized robot that has been lowered into the floor and has been adapted so that a patient table could be mounted on for patient positioning during a therapy.
Cafe culture is renowned for bridging the worlds of art, style, and of course, coffee. But there is always something new brewing, and some companies are adding robotics to the blend. Meet Ella, Singapore's first fully autonomous robot barista. Located in a small kiosk beside Crown Coffee in Lavender, she can
Mesa Robotics' Renaissance system is a comprehensive surgical solution for spine surgery. It improves accuracy, reduces complications, and shortens recovery time. Renaissance is also used worldwide for biopsies, vertebral implants, precision treatment of comprehensive fractures, and spinal curvature.
Let's begin now.
Yep, there goes somebody's job. Look at that. Yeah, well.
This is an autonomous robot that can take a piece of fabric, dry it out, hold it up to another sewing machine that can sew it, and then once it's done, it soaks the liquid and soaks the material, makes it normal again.
The automation revolution is beginning to come into fashion. The clothing industry is among the latest economic sectors to be making the leap, which is ironic because it was among the first to be mechanized. Today, they still require skilled human hands to guide and handle the materials. In this episode of Moving Upstream, our third on the robotics revolution, we're looking at what these new cutting-edge technologies can do and the impact they're beginning to have on the developing world.
This is how a radiologist diagnoses pneumonia.
84-year-old female, shortness of breath period, frontal and lateral views of the chest period.
This is an algorithm called ChexNet that's trained to do the exact same task. And this is how it performed against 6 doctors analyzing 50 chest x-rays for pneumonia in a recent test at Stanford. ChexNet is one of many projects exploring how artificial intelligence can take over tasks normally done by doctors. And it has some radiologists worried that AI could one day replace them. That's because algorithms are getting really good at interpreting images and diagnosing disease, sometimes with greater accuracy than humans.
We'll take a picture. This is undergoing a transformation by COVID, yes, but also by robots. The consulting firm McKinsey predicts now automation will put 45 million people out of work by the year 2030. It's a trend that was already starting, but is accelerating in the pandemic. White-collar jobs are the new target.
This is an example of loan flow building a loan.
This may look like a whole lot of nothing.
As you can see, it's trying millions and millions of different options.
But that's just because we can't show you the numbers. It's new artificial intelligence creating the perfect mortgage for an actual homeowner, at least according to LoanSnap.
We're building a financial model for someone and showing them exactly how much money they're losing on a monthly and yearly basis, and then showing them how they could potentially fix that issue and save money in the future. again, in seconds.
It's just one way artificial learning is taking over real estate.
Automation has become an essential part of American life. Coffee makers brew your morning cup of joe before you even wake up, apps can hail a cab within minutes, and AI assistants are everywhere to help us throughout the day. The trend has even begun to revolutionize money management with the rise of robo-advisors.
It solves the problems that I have with respect to investing. What I mean by that is I would much prefer to trust somebody else, and in this case, trust the technology to make optimal investments for me, as opposed to me having to A, spend the time to do it myself, and B, the acknowledgement that I'm unlikely to perform better than an algorithm.
Investors historically, they've had two options when it comes to managing their investments. One, they could do it themselves, or two, you could work with a financial advisor. With the advent of robo-advisors, there's a third option, and that's to merge the benefits of professional money management and advice with the convenience of an all-digital application.
Robo-advisors have had a meteoric rise in popularity since their debut in 2008. Today, robo-advisors manage $460 billion, an increase of 30% compared to 2019.
In 2017, Xi Jinping announced the government's bold new plans to an audience of foreign diplomats. China would catch up with the U.S. in artificial intelligence by 2025 and lead the world by 2030.
And intensify cooperation in frontier areas such as digital economy, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, and quantum computing.
Today, China leads the world in e-commerce. Drones delivered to rural villages. And a society that bypassed credit cards now shops in stores without cashiers, where the currency is facial recognition.
No country has ever moved that fast. And in the short 2.5 years, China's AI implementation really went from minimal amount to probably about 17 or 18 unicorns, that is billion-dollar companies in AI today.
Life in China is largely conducted on smartphones. 1 billion people use WeChat, the equivalent of Facebook, Messenger, and PayPal, and much more combined into just one super app. And there are many more.
China is the best place for AI implementation today because the vast amount of data that's available in China. China has a lot more users than any other country, 3 to 4 times more than the US. There are 50 times more mobile payments than the US. There are 10 times more food deliveries, which serve as data to learn more about user behavior than the US. 300 times more shared bicycle rides. And each shared bicycle ride has all kinds of sensors submitting data up to the cloud. We're talking about maybe 10 times more data than the US. And AI is basically run on data and fueled by data. The more data, the better the AI works. More importantly than how brilliant the researcher is working on the problem. So in the age of AI, where data is the new oil, China is the new.
And access to all that data means that the deep learning algorithm can quickly predict behavior, like the creditworthiness of someone wanting a short-term loan.
Here is our application.
and the customer can choose how many money they want to borrow and how long they want to borrow, and they can input their data here, and after that, you can just borrow very quickly.
The CEO shows us how quickly you can get a loan.
It has done.
It takes an average of 8 seconds.
It has passed to banks. Wow. Yeah, our job is finished.
In the 8 seconds, the algorithm has assessed 5,000 personal features from all your data.
12,000 features. That is related with the delinquency. When maybe the banks only use few, maybe 10 features when they are doing their risk management.
Like this facial recognition startup he invested in. Megvii was started by 3 young graduates in 2011. It's now a world leader in using AI to identify people.
It's pretty fast. For example, on the mobile device, we have timed the facial recognition speed. It's actually less than 100 milliseconds. So that's very, very fast. So 0.1 second. That we'll be able to recognize you, even on a mobile device.
The company claims the system is better than any human at identifying people in its database. And for those who aren't, it can describe them. Like our director, what he's wearing, and a good guess at his age, missing it by only a few months.
Now, I will tell you that the jury is still kind of...
And the first question is, Dr. Shub, you developed a terminology called the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which became a global norm for various industrial changes. And you even chose this term as the main theme for 2016 World Economic Forum. So now, under current pandemic situation, what impact did COVID-19 have on the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and how should countries or companies should respond to it?
That's an excellent question. As a reminder, my notion and my book of the Fourth Industrial Revolution is that the innovations we are seeing today in terms of artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, cloud computing, advanced robotics, and many others, together constitute a new phase in human development, on par or even exceeding previous industrial revolutions in scale and impact. COVID-19, if anything, has accelerated this ongoing industrial revolution. If COVID had happened even 10 years ago, we could not have imagined moving entire companies, schools, and government offices so fast online. Today, that is a reality. The Fourth Industrial Revolution has become a reality, not just for the pioneers, but for a broad range of people and workers. We are also seeing macroeconomic consequences, changes. Big tech companies such as Apple, Samsung, Alphabet, Amazon, or Facebook already are among the largest global companies, but the last months have further cemented their leading positions in the market, while others have started to lag further behind. That will prove to be not only the case now, but will be a permanent consequence of COVID-19. But these past few months have also shown that the Fourth Industrial Revolution will not be beneficial to all unless we make conscious choices and investments to ensure that this is the case. Disadvantaged school students, unskilled workers, and non-digitized companies and governments will feel the crisis much more than others. Moreover, both corporate and income inequality have worsened during the last months. So when we build the post-COVID world, when we do the Great Reset, one of the most important places to start will be to ensure that the fruits of the fourth industrial revolution are really shared by all. It starts with equitable investments, particularly in education and reskilling. And it also implies we come up with a new framework to regulate data ownership, intellectual property and competition in the fourth industrial revolution. This requires public-private cooperation. So, to the participants of this World Knowledge Forum, my message is this. It is very important to embrace the fourth industrial revolution and its technology, as it will determine our future prosperity like nothing else.